Working to agreed standards and deadlines. Before beginning tasks, you need to know when the deadline is. This is important so that you can plan your work accordingly. This is essential as it is highly likely that the work of the rest of the team, other teams, and the organisation as a whole will depend on it. The required format. How should your work be presented? Is there a house style or template that you have to use? Presenting work in the wrong format wastes time later. The scope of the task. You need to know how much detail is required. Too little, and you will have to revisit the task. Too much, and you will have wasted your own time. Sources of information. You will need to know where you can find out any information that needs to be included. Sources of information may be internal, such as files, address books, colleagues, organizational procedures, or external, such as websites, advisory agencies, or suppliers. Support available. You will need to know if there is support available, such as colleagues who have time to help you. Resources such as accommodation or equipment, or finance to buy consumables or specialist items. You will also need to consider what possible problems that you may encounter. Setting high standards will create a reputation for quality. You should set and maintain a high standard for your own work at all times. The way you behave at work and how you carry out all aspects of your job will gain you a reputation. Once gained, reputations are hard to change, so be aware of the importance of creating a good first impression. When carrying out your job role, always complete tasks to a high standard and pay attention to detail. It may not seem too important to always punch paper squarely, but a messy file with paper sticking out top and bottom sends out a message about its owner. Setting and maintaining high standards for both your work and your behaviour will lead to a higher level of job satisfaction for you and a higher level of trust in you from your organisation, which could in turn lead you to promotion. Professionalism. This is having the right attitude to doing your job to the best of your ability. It is ensuring the needs of the organisation are met, despite difficult circumstances, for example, being under pressure through lack of time. It is being aware of what your organisation expects of you and acting accordingly. It is also having the appropriate knowledge and knowing what you can do within the limits of your authority. Agreeing deadlines. There are a few key questions to answer within this section. The first is, why is it important to meet deadlines? It is important because missing a deadline is likely to cause extra work for someone else somewhere down the line. Someone else will be waiting for you to complete your task and will have planned their work accordingly. Not meeting your deadline means others will have to replan their work, causing them unnecessary stress and creating resentment towards you. What has to be done? When agreeing to a deadline, it is important to consider how much work is involved, as well as considering the other work and routine tasks you will also have to complete during the same period. How realistic is it? If, having considered all that needs to be done before the deadline, it seems unrealistic, then it is better to explain this and try to negotiate some leeway, either in the form of more time or the relief of other duties. It is better to communicate this from the outset rather than try and meet the deadline and then miss it. You have to be clear about what you can get done in the time frame, as overload can result in little being completed. To be accountable and take responsibility for your own work, you should do the following three things. Finish on time. If you have agreed a deadline, it is up to you to ensure you meet that deadline whatever happens. Dealing with problems. You should try to resolve minor problems that may delay work yourself. This may mean rescheduling tasks or working extra hours, or gaining the help of colleagues. Reporting progress. It is essential that any problems in meeting deadlines are communicated as soon as possible, as this will lessen the impact on others. It is better to limit the damage by owning up if you are behind, rather than covering up and allowing the situation to get worse. You will be afforded far more respect if you have the confidence to admit your failings, rather than if you allow them to be found out later. The typical problems that you may encounter are equipment failure, staff sickness, the specification for the work is altered or widened, other people not fulfilling their commitments, work has not been completed to specification and has to be redone, and constant distractions and interruptions.